You know, it's pretty wild to think that a single piece of paper, a university diploma, could trigger a legal firestorm that puts not just a former president, but an entire nation's history on trial. Today, we're diving into the controversy surrounding the diploma of Indonesia's former president, Joko Widodo, and the huge battle over whether it's even real.
Right out of the gate, the defense lawyer Abdul Gafur Sangadji throws down the gauntlet. He compares this diploma to Supersemar, which, if you know Indonesian history, is this hugely mysterious document that handed power over to President Suharto back in the 60s. It's still debated today. So this tells you they're not treating this like a simple forgery case. They're framing it as a major challenge to the official historical record. Okay, so this is where things get really interesting. The whole story takes a sharp turn inside a special, closed-door hearing. This is the first time anyone on the defense team gets to see the actual, physical evidence. Up until now, it's just been a digital image floating around online. This is their chance to finally look beyond the pixels.
So picture this. It's a real moment of truth. Official seals are broken, a protective case is opened, and there they are, side by side, the high school diploma and the university one. For the handful of people in that room, it was a super rare opportunity to actually examine the real physical version of a document that has the entire country talking.
And this is exactly where the first red flags pop up for the defense. The lawyer starts pointing out some really stark differences. The high school diploma? Yeah, it looks its age. The paper is worn, the photo is yellowing, but the face is clearly recognizable. Then you look at the university diploma, and the paper seems newer, the photo looks almost perfect, and the face, now with glasses, seems a bit off. The defense is asking, how can a 40-year-old unlaminated document look this good?
So all these little visual things that don't quite line up, they started to fuel some serious doubt, and that led to some really tough questions.
And that's really the heart of their physical argument. The lawyer even mentioned he went home and dug out his own old diplomas just to check. And yep, they all showed signs of aging, stains, yellowing paper, just the way things naturally fall apart over time. But the president's university diploma? He argues it just looked way too new, almost suspiciously so.
So this whole visual inspection, it basically sets the stage for the real heart of the legal fight, a classic battle of forensics. You've got the official police report on one side and a demand for a completely independent look on the other.
Now, the government's position is crystal clear. The Indonesian National Police's own forensic lab did a comparison. They took the diploma, put it up against 13 other diplomas from the same time period, and their official conclusion was identical. So, case closed, right?
Well, not so fast. For the defense team, that was nowhere near the end of the story. Despite that official finding, they were not satisfied at all, and they immediately started poking holes in how the police reached that identical conclusion.
Their argument is actually pretty simple. How can you prove a document is authentic by comparing it to 13 other documents that are completely anonymous and whose own authenticity hasn't even been verified? It's like checking an answer with an answer key you can't trust. But their biggest point is about public trust. They bring up the explosive Ferdi Sambo case, that recent scandal where a top police general was accused of a massive cover-up, as proof that you can't always take internal police forensics at face value. For public trust, they say, you need another set of eyes. And that leads us to their central demand, a second opinion. They're not just questioning the lab result. They want the actual diploma re-examined by two highly respected independent groups, the National Research and Innovation Agency, BRIN, and the University of Indonesia. For them, that's the only way to get a truly unbiased scientific answer.
So where does all of this go from here? Well, the next steps could be setting the stage for a showdown that's both historic and legally unprecedented. The road ahead looks like it's going to be a long one. The case has to move through more investigation, then a review by the prosecutor, all leading up to what the defense is pushing for, a full open court trial. But get this, that might not even start until 2026. And this right here, this is the defense team's endgame. Their ultimate goal is to put the former president himself on the witness stand. Their argument is that once he's out of office, presidential immunity is gone. He's just another citizen who has to answer questions under oath.
And they are not messing around. This quote from the lawyer says it all. They will ask the judge to bring him in by force if he refuses to show up. That just highlights how incredibly serious this is. We could be looking at a constitutional drama that Indonesia has never, ever seen before.
When you step back, you realize this case has become about so much more than just one man's diploma. It's really a test of the public's trust in its own institutions. It's a debate over what truth even is. And it's a huge question about how a country decides to write, and sometimes rewrite, its own history. It really leaves us with this final thought. When history itself is put on trial, what does the truth even look like?